What's happening, y'all? It's your man Flex, back at it again with another dope video. I really think I'm gonna like this one. We're gonna like this one together, right? So why a woman's body count don't really matter, right? And somebody told me to talk about this in the comment section. They were like, can you talk on a woman's body count, or does that really matter, or what's your thoughts on a woman's body count? I think that's what that person said. So that's my take on it, right? I've made videos about it on TikTok before, like a couple of videos, why I just don't really think a woman's body count should be the main focus in a way when it comes to a man vetting a woman, because you're not going to ever know what a woman's true body count really is. They could lie and say it's more or less than what it is. You never know, because they ain't like they got it plastered on their head every time they sleep with a dude. You don't know a woman's past. She got a whole past before she met your ass, right? But before we really get into it, make sure to click that subscribe button below. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Thank y'all so much for joining the channel. Where we get into dope, good topics on this channel, right? Shout out to all the older ones and the recurring ones as well, that have kept this channel going from the beginning of time, right? We've been in here, we've been putting in the work this past few weeks, and we're gonna continue to keep putting in the work. So again, if you're new to this channel, thank you for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to click that subscribe button below, so that way you know all the new videos that I post, right? Let's get into it. Like I said, you ain't gonna never know a woman's true body count. You never gonna know it, right? I've talked about it on this channel before. Stop focusing on things that you can't control. Focus on things that you can control, right? Can stick around for the remainder of the video, because I'm going to tell you what I think you should be focusing on when vetting a woman, right? Other than their body count, right? But you never really going to know. Like I said, you're never really going to know their body count. Women lie. They just do. And they had a past before they met you, right? And a lot of dudes and detractors and men gonna be like, saying, oh, that's bullshit. You perpetuating the idea that women can be promiscuous without any repercussions. I ain't say that. Right? If you think that that's what I'm saying, whatever. That ain't what came out of my mouth. I live in a real world, and I'm a realist. You are never going to be able to know how many bodies a woman really has. She can say she done had 5 bodies, right? And 5 isn't a lot for you, because this kind of subjective of what men think a lot of bodies is, right? Some men be like, nah, I want a virgin. Let's be for real. Good luck. Come on, bro. Really, you in your 30s and 40s, you want a virgin? Okay, whatever. Let me know when you wake up in this reality time. Let me know when you finally wake up and grow the fuck up, right? Number 2, some men be like, hey, nah, I want me a woman. 5 is cool. 2 to 5, no more than 2 to 5, right? Okay, so what if this woman tells you she got 2 to 5 bodies, right? She tell you she tell you what you want to hear, but whole time she was smashing on, in college she had about 30, freshman year alone, and you find this out later on in life, and you married a girl, whatever, and then what? Women withhold a lot of things too. They know how to do that very well, right? I want y'all to check out this movie called no, it's a TV show called and it's funny because I actually was I remember I had an audition. For y'all who don't know, I'm an actor, but I had an audition for the season 3, but they never came out with season 3. They just discontinued, but it's called Smek's Life. And the only reason I'm saying Smek's is because I feel like I can't say on YouTube the actual term, just remove the M after the, just remove the M and that's what it would be called, right? But I'm gonna just say Smek's Life for the reason that we on YouTube, right? I don't want them to take this video down. The show is about this girl who is married, right? She meets this guy. Okay, she meets this guy, and she had a whole life before she met him, right? This dude was like he worked at this like prestigious I can't remember, this prestigious firm or company, investment kind of banker type of dude, right? Was really successful, rich, made a lot of money, very good looking dude. And you know, like every woman would want him, right? He's like the perfect prototype of a guy, handsome, charming, really good looking dude, right? Really nice guy, family man though, right? And she could tell that. She met him months after she had a bad breakup with this bad boy type guy, right? That she had about years of history with. This guy was extremely narcissistic. This guy was toxic. You know, he was a bad boy. He was a music producer. He was rich and wealthy as well. Handsome dude as well. You know, but he gave her an imprint. He imprinted this woman, right? Did her dirty, got her pregnant, all of this stuff, right? So she had a traumatic, toxic past with this dude, okay? And months later, or maybe a year later, she meets this guy, and they start talking about, they go out on a coffee date, or I think for drinks or whatever like that. He offers to take her out. The new guy, the soon-to-be new husband. Well, they talk about exes, and he talks about his story, and she don't really talk about her story like that. She kind of does, but she leaves it very bland and vague. Very bland and vague, and just kind of like tosses it to the side for the time being. And women are very good at being able to do that and switch stories. And you won't even know like that, right? And because you a man, you a gentleman, you ain't gonna pry, you're not gonna force things, right? You know, you're just gonna let it be. Well, this woman was still so infatuated with her man from the past that she wrote a whole journal diary, damn near fantasy about his ass, would dream about his ass. The ex, she would dream about the ex. She married, she been married to the new dude for like 10 years, got 2 beautiful children, living the perfect life. She's a professor at of psychology or something like that, at a prestigious school. Shorty doing her big one. She living a dream life like every woman would want, with the dream man like every woman claimed that they want. Whole time she thinking about dude from the past that was blowing her back out and printing her and doing all this type of shit that she can't get over. Excuse my language, y'all. I'm trying to get better with not cursing. My apologies. But anyways, she's trying to get him off her mind, but she can't. Right? And the dude and the husband finds the diary or the journal, finds the fantasy, and he finds out. Right? And he says to her, who, after he reads the journal and she comes downstairs and catches him reading the journal on her computer, he says to her, who in the hell are you? Like, who are you? Right? Women can lie and make up a whole facade story without you knowing. You can't control that shit. You cannot control it. I keep looking at both cameras, whatever. Women can't control. I mean, you can't control what a woman's past is. That's why I told that story, because it's a great show. I wish it would have got, but I don't think they could have gone anywhere else with it, you know, after the second season 2, right? But the point was that he didn't know who his wife was, because his wife didn't really express any of those types of things, that she could have been a whore, you know, or somebody that was out there like that. She tried to make it seem like she won't like that. You know what I mean? Like, now, listen, what you can control is you can be like a woman that you really like and that you're trying to vet. What you can do is, look, y'all can both get tested together. or tell her to get tested. You say, hey, look, this is the type of man I am. I don't really want to be with a woman. You know, I don't know how many people you've been with. And for all I know, you could be lying to me type shit. If I ask you. But I need to know, are you clean? Are you safe? Have you used protection? You know, well, okay, well, I think we need to get tested. If you are upstanding man, you are upstanding person, I think that you should ask your partner or person that you've been seeing for a little while and you really like her, but y'all ain't slept together yet. And you are an upstanding type of man, individual that cares about body count, but you know you ain't gonna ever really know a woman's true body count. Because they could lie to your ass, right? They had a whole life before you. But what you could do is control the present, the now, and ask her to get tested. And you go get tested too with her. You know, if she don't want to do that, you be like, well, we can go together. I really like you. I want to take the next step. You know, because a lot of y'all dudes claim that y'all are conservative men and y'all want this and that. And I'm not trying to bash that. I respect it. I get it. But you live in a real world and you need to understand real game shit, real G shit. If you really care about that, care about the woman who you going to spend the rest of your life with, okay, and be with for the long haul, that you want to raise your kids. If you really a man that still want a family, that's the next step. Y'all both get tested. Y'all have different conversations about, and then you kind of have different conversations about why it's important, why these types of things are important to you, right? Protective sex, being with the right person, intimacy, the right form of intimacy. You know, I don't know if this video gonna do that well, but that's my take on it, right? Somebody asked me to talk about what do I think about a woman's body count, or does body count really matter on a woman? And that's my perspective on it. Now, does that mean that, you know, I ain't going, does that mean that, you know, like, okay, honestly, y'all, it's kind of hard for me to say, not really hard for me, but, you know, I'm not a dude who don't, like, I'm a dude that got quite a bit of bodies on my record, y'all. Like, it just is what it is. So for me, it's kind of a little different. Even though you got some dudes that be on these podcasts talking and saying, you know, I can have hundreds of women bodies, but my woman that I'm going to date can't. Because women and men are wired differently. Okay, look, listen, bro. You need to get your ass tested. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't, like, you got to hold yourself to the same shit. Real recognize real. That's just my take on it. That's just my perspective on it. So my thing is, regardless of body count, because I just don't know what your past is. I don't know. You could tell me, like, words don't mean shit to me. I'm just the type of person. Words don't really mean nothing to me. You know, I need to see results. I need to see something, you know, so I would be the type to be like, hey, if I'm really that curious about it and I'm really thinking about it so much, I'm be like, well, in my mind, I'm like, logic gonna tell me, well, I guess I ain't gonna really ever know what a body count is, but we can get tested, see if she got something, you know, so I don't want no shit. I don't want nothing, you know, so we need to get tested together, this and that. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Right? That's my take on it, because you're just never really gonna know a woman's body count, and that was my why my reasoning for giving you the example of that show, Smeck's Life, because it shed a light on that, how women have a past. Everybody has a past, and a very deep, toxic past, and that's why you got to ask the right questions. You know, you ask questions about, instead of asking what's your body count, ask questions really, you know, get to know the woman in a way, because a lot of dudes don't be asking these questions to women. You'll have a woman kind of like shocked when you ask, like, so what's a, you know, if you don't mind, trauma dumping for a little bit. What's something in your past relationship that you learned about yourself and now you won't tolerate, and what you learned that your boundaries are, and what you tolerated before that you won't tolerate now, right? Like, you have to ask questions like that. I guarantee you she ain't never met a dude, in most cases. Most dudes ain't asking them type of questions. But y'all, I'm in my 30s now. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, you got to switch shit up. You can't just ask the same stuff that all dudes asking. Body count, this and that. Every dude asking that shit. You don't think they understand that and know how to lie? And then I'm going to say this one last thing. While y'all so focused on trying to be with conservative women, nothing wrong with being conservative or being a conservative man and being with a conservative woman. But if you think for 1 second that a conservative woman ain't had a past, because a lot of them have. A lot of conservative women have had one hell of a past. In fact, them be the ones that have been with quite a bit of men. And then the ones that y'all that be out here saying they on hot girl some of this, hot girl some of that, they be putting on the front. They ain't really like that. It be them girls that be quiet, cute, shy. They done had one hell of a past. Them be the ones that have had it. Why you think they're like that? Could be trauma response, could be different things. Y'all gotta know how to look at stuff a certain way, man. That's my take on it. On why I don't think, a woman's body count matters that much. I think getting tested is more important than anything. Right? That's something that you can control. Right? That's my take on it. Hey, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, that's cool too. I get it. Right? Make sure to click that subscribe button below, like I said before, so you know when I post new videos on this channel. Shout out to all of y'all. Thank y'all so much for the love and the support. It really means a lot. I hope this video helps somebody. You know what I mean? Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Share it in the comment section, right? Again, it's your man Flex. I'm out. Peace.